Hello, BookTube. I thought once again I'd do a Friday Reads on Friday. I'm having a good track record with that. So I've got my iPad ready to show you a few of the books I plan on reading this weekend. Unfortunately, the thing is charging. It's an old iPad and it wheezes and groans when it needs to work. Uh, I keep meaning to get a new one. If any of you have a newer iPad than the i2 that you don't use, that you want to rehome to a good location, you let me know in the comments field. I don't want to buy one online or go to the Apple store here in Boston and be, uh, hey dude, hey dude, from the geniuses who work there. I suspect that psychologically, clinically, not one of them is a genius, but that could just be me. But if you have a newer iPad sitting around that you don't use, it's not going to happen. But if so, let me know. I'd be happy to give it a new home and flood you with books, and maybe even make a financial deal. So I just don't want to buy one online. But that's beside the point. I've got a variety of things to show you, but the first thing I want to show you that I'll be reading this weekend will be this: The Fellowship of the Ring, uh, to coincide with the Fellowship of the Ring read along that's being done by the guys at Strip Cover Lit. I don't need much reason to reread Tolkien, so the fact that they're doing that is all the reason I need. In fact, I might make a video. I think a video of theirs is going up today, and I've never talked in depth about Tolkien on this channel. This is the movie adaptation cover. I got a set of these for free, an old set of them moldering in a box, and I noticed that the acetate covering of the covers was peeling off, so I peeled it completely off. So the silver letters Fellowship of the Ring J.R.R. Tolkien disappeared, and all I have is the picture, which I kind of like. So I just kept it. But anyway, I want to show you some of these others here that I'm leaving room, of course, for additions for emergencies or flights of fancy or that or for this plan being disrupted. But the first one I want to show you is this one. It's by Peter Walben. It's called The Hidden Life of Trees. Now, is that going to behave itself? A little. What have we got here? How can we fix this? The Hidden Life of Trees. It's what they feel, how they communicate, which is bad news for vegans if they do feel and communicate. Because what on earth can humans eat if everything doesn't want to be eaten? uh, then there's a YA novel, continuing my open-minded examination of this genre. That when I first started BookTube, uh, you look at BookTube when you first start, you see YA everywhere, and it creates a kind of resentment that the genre YA, I now realize, does not deserve. That's not the genre that's doing that. That's the readers of the genre who are doing that. The genre deserves to be examined on its strengths and weaknesses like any other genre. And I'm doing that in 2016. I plan to make a real push on it in 2017, even though I can't help but notice BookTube itself is changing. That preponderance of YA obsession is, I don't know if you've noticed, starting to die down a little. More diverse voices are being heard and being seen all over BookTube. And the BookTubers who only want to talk about YA exclusively are starting to look like the specialist channels that they've always been. It's interesting to me. I can't wait. What I wouldn't give to be able to take just a glimpse of what BookTube is going to be like in 2 years. I hope I'm here for it. I think it's going to be great. But in the meantime, I am reevaluating YA. And this is the next one I'm going to read. I don't know if you can see that. The Odds of Loving Grover Cleveland. This is by Rebecca Crane. And it was recommended to me, I admit, by a not unbiased source, by its publicist. But I'm going to give it a try anyway, because it's been my experience that most publicists don't just robotically enthuse over all the books on their list. They actually enthuse about the ones they really like. I've got a lot of good tips that way, so I'm gonna try this one. And then the next one is this. Let's wait for it to focus. This is The Gatekeeper. Can you see that? This is The Gatekeeper by Catherine Smith. And it is about, those of you who love The West Wing will recognize this immediately. It's about Mrs. Landingham. That's who this woman is. This is the woman who kept FDR's calendar and his appointment book and vetted his guests and held a hard line with him when he wanted to talk too long or wander off the point. And it's, of course, her first biography. And I can't wait to dig into it. She comes up in all of his biographies, little bits and pieces, lines here and there. But the White House has a long history of such women at the front desk. And no one's ever written that history. No one's ever written the full narrative history of those women, but presidents have had them for at least 100 years. Theodore Roosevelt had one. He seldom paid any attention to her, but he called her invaluable. William Howard Taft had one. Woodrow Wilson had one. John F. Kennedy had a famous one. She wrote her own book. Many do. They come on in the course of White House history at a time when in an era when women couldn't vote, an era when women were expected to be housewives, an era when working women of any authority over men were looked down on. That was happening out in society, outside of Pennsylvania Avenue and inside the White House. The guy with the most important job in the country was entrusting most of the logistics to the woman at the front desk, and rightfully so. And I just this will be another example of that. I can't wait to get to it. And then there's this. Can we get this to focus? It's got a lovely blue color that you're not going to see. It's The Chosen by Chaim Potok. It's the 50th anniversary of his great Jewish American novel, novel about the Jewish American experience. And I read it, I won't say 50 years ago, but I read it a long time ago and have never actually read it again. So you got this, and I'll be very happy to get to it. And then, I don't know if you can see this. I'm sorry the colors are washing out. We'll try and edge it in here. I don't know if you can make out this out. This is from DC Comics. It is Frank Miller's seminal graphic novel, Dark Knight Returns, which originally came out as 4 individual issues. And what this set does is give you a boxed slipcase set of 4 hardcovers for those issues, so that you can... I actually think it's a valuable thing to do. I mean, the graphic novel is great. I have it up on that shelf there. I reread it all the time, and I give it to people all the time. But I really like, once in a while, remembering what reading those issues was like. Because the issues are... It's not just that the graphic novel holds together well. It's that the issues are structured as a dramatic arc, each individually. And they work magnificently towards that end. You lose that when you read the graphic novel in one shot. So I will use, again, like with Lord of the Rings, I will use any flimsy excuse to reread my favorite stuff. So I'll be doing that. And that's it. That is sort of a sample, a core sample of my weekend reading on this Friday Reads. There'll be more books than this, but some of them will be reviews that, there's a book for Kirkus that won't bear talking about in civilized society, I'm sure. And there'll be editions that'll come out. Like, for instance, I could easily imagine rereading Fellowship of the Ring leading to rereading The Two Towers, stuff like that. Because sometimes even the most disciplined reader is just helpless when it comes to his favorites. But anyway, as usual, let me know in the comments field what you're reading this weekend, and I'll see you soon, BookTube. Thank you.